Hey guys, what's up? CRAZY Rook here, back again with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to analyze an OTB chess game I played against Mr. BA, and he was rated 21-25, and it's a 10 plus 5 second delay game. He started off with d4, and I will admit this game is quite crazy, so I'll try to do my best. And sorry for talking a little bit fast there, just trying to get over it quickly. So he played d4, and I started off with knight f6. I mean, I like playing knight f6 because it's quite flexible. I can go into d4. So like if you play c4, I can still play something like c6, and there's no really way to punish this. After here, then d5, I could go for a Slav, or it's just really flexible. I can go for anything I want. Maybe I could go for e6, fake a nim zone, and go for a modern defense, something like that. So I think most people, you should probably start with knight f6 because you can still go into these Slavs, you can still go into these things. And yeah, it's just very flexible. So here he played bishop g5, which is the Trompowsky, and I played the main line, which is knight e4, and he played the Raptor variation, which I did not know was a variation. The most common thing here is bishop f4, which I expected, and I also know how to play bishop h5, but now I learned how to play against h4, which he played. And so here I remember that if, oops, that's the move I played. I remember that if they play here, you can play c5 or d5, and I like playing d5 in these positions. It's like a London, but I have my knight here, and that should be better for me. But he played h4, so I played d5, and d5 is not so accurate here. Here you should probably play c5 or h6. In the other situation, d5 is fine, but it's a little bit worse here than the other moves. He played knight d2 attacking my guy. I took, and here I wanted to play e6, but I wanted to do it so that it didn't block my bishop, so I first got my bishop outside of the pawn chain. And this forced him to sort of make a mistake. After bishop f5, he made a mistake. So here he should play e3, e3 intending c4, and f4 probably, and maybe bishop e2 here and castles. In an equal position, but he played f3, which is a kind of a typical idea. If you put your bishop on f4, you kick the knight away with f3, and then you push this move. But it's not so typical here because I have e5, which I did not see at all, and I also have queen d6 threatening here. But I did not see either of these moves. Instead, I played e6. My plan, I attacked this pawn, and I saw that it's going to be very hard for him if he plays e4. So takes, and I play bishop d6. So right now I have a double attacked here, and there's only one way to protect it, and you can't do this because this pawn is also hanging. So I played here. And here I think that there's a really obvious move you can play here, which is bishop e7, attacking the pawn again. And there's no good way for him to stop this. But I played knight c6, which is one of my only inaccuracies this game. But actually, no, I made lots of blunders this game. This is a really crazy game, by the way. So here he had around 9 minutes, and so did I. He played bishop e5. Yeah, this move is good, punishing me for this move. I did not see this move. I thought he'd play c3. And I thought here that I'd play bishop e7, and I like my position. But he played bishop e5, I played bishop e7, attacking here. And here he made a very bad move that looks very obvious. So the most obvious move that hit me right in the face is knight e5. And actually, after knight e5, I blundered the game away, apparently, which I did not think I did, but it ended up working out anyway. Knight e5. After knight e5, I can basically just castle. And even though you win a pawn, I win this pawn, so I should be fine. And so that's what I should have done, but I played queen d6, which is a huge blunder. And I'll give you a second to figure out why. And if you figured out why, well, props to you, because my opponent at 2100 did not. So the move is takes on c6, b takes c6, knight c to e4, attacking the queen, queen d8, and you just pick up the pawn. I move my queen again, and the engine likes queen c8. I don't really entirely understand queen c8, but then you take here, and here white is up a pawn, and my king's misplaced, and lots of things are hanging, and this is just really crazy. But my king is not castled and it's in the center of the board, and yours is, and so this position would be +3. And he's up a pawn, but instead he took on g6, which was natural to me, and I took back. And here white has one move that can keep him in the game, which is queen g4. Queen g4, I would castle queenside, and the game would continue. And it also puts pressure on my king when it would land there, and he'd probably castle kingside or queenside, and it would probably very slightly better for white. But here he made a blunder, which is knight f3. And knight f3 actually loses the game immediately, which is quite funny. But I'll give you a few seconds to find the move why this move loses immediately. So 1, 2, 3. So I gave you 3 seconds. And so the move is, before I tell you the move, I'll tell you what's not the move, and the move that I actually played, because this is a very quick game. Somehow I missed this. Also at 2100 missed the move. So I played queen g3, which is a very, very nice move, and it led to some spectacular combination. But the best move is simply queen b4, c3, pick up the bishop, prevent him from castling. It's -4.5 here, and he's just dead lost. But I played queen g3, and that's the whole reason I'm showing you this game. If I just played here and took here, this game's not very interesting. He played king f1, and I castled. So here I absolutely love my position, because there's just lots of attacking chances. And so what he should do here is take this knight, because this knight's going to be a pest in the future, but he made a blunder, which allows a very spectacular combination. And if you haven't figured out by this point, this game has at least 5 blunders. So queen e1, and during a game you can't see what this engine thinks, this -9, but what you can see is simple threats. So the first thing you have to think about is just simply queen here, just picking up a pawn, and that would be winning, because he can't take because his king's pinned, and you'd be up a pawn. But it takes a great deal of concentration to play a move that I play in the game, rook x f3, which is the engine's favorite move, and you have to calculate this out to make sure you're not losing. So after takes, he can't block because he'll lose his queen, his rook, so he has to play here. And here you can play 2 moves that both win, but one wins a lot more smoothly than the other. That's the move I played, knight takes. You're just bringing all your pieces into the action. And here he played queen h4, and I'll give you a few seconds to find the winning combination here, which is very, very, very nice. So the winning combination, you can also start with knight e2, but I don't like knight e2 because you can just take it. So the winning combination I started with was queen e3, king g2, queen d2. He can't go back here because of this, and if he goes back here, well then this leads to mate. So he has to go to g3. Or, well, if he goes here also, well then probably this wins. Or actually, if he goes here, I can just take the bishop. So you play king g3, I play bishop d6, check, which now he only has 1 square, and if you can see, if he went here, well then, I think this leads to mate. Wait. If he goes here, what happens? Check. Here, oh yeah, okay, it's mate. So he can't go there, he played king h3, which is -20.5, and, that was an accident, but you saw the move already, but most people, what I think you do in this position is they just take the bishop, and if you take the bishop, it's -7.5. It's completely winning. You have 2 pawns, and you have 2 pieces for the exchange. That's just completely winning. And his king is here. But the move it takes like a lot of courage to play is knight f3, and that's the move I played, which the king can only go forward. And now try to find a move for white. So you have to move the queen. You don't have to move the queen, actually. You can also play your rook here. So now let's look at this move, rook here. Queen e3. your this thing is hanging. Rook d6. Knight xg5, double check. King g2. Queen e2, check. Cannot go here. Or you can actually. Wait. Queen x e4. Rook f3. Takes, 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 takes. And we go into this endgame where I'm up 4 pawns. So, best case scenario, we go into endgame, I'm up 4 pawns. Now, that's pretty bad. But he played queen g4, and this is actually mate in 7. My opponent made it easier on me by allowing mate in 2. Here, he had maybe 1 minute left, so he had thought a lot as well. And I played knight xg5. And here, he has to take here. But the much easier move to play is not to give up your queen and play queen h4. And here it's mate in 2 or 3 or whatever you want it to be. It's mate in a lot of different ways. I play queen f2 check. And actually in this position he just tips his king, but you can't play here because this is mate. You can't play here because this is mate. This is also mate. And this is also mate, even if you allow that. Lots of things. I could play rook f8 and there's still mate in some amount of moves. Or actually, no, he can take on e6 here. But this position is just completely winning. So it's a very nice combination after this rook takes f3. A very nice move. Your pieces are all sort of lined up. The queen's perfectly placed. The rook's eyeing the king. The knight's gonna hop in here. The bishop can go to d6. And who knew the game would end when his king is on g5 from this position. I did not imagine that would happen, but it's a very nice victory for me. And yeah, let's end today's video. Also, if you're wondering, now my rating is at 1939 after the previous tournament. I showed you a game in last week's video of that, and you can comment below if you want to see more of those games from that tournament. But that's end today's video, guys. If you liked the videos, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and goodbye!